In this week's episode, we have a lot of little processes we need to get out of the way so we can move forward with this Nav Station Refit project. First things up, we need to make some plywood filler panels to replace the ones where we cut out all the rotted plywood. So we combined together a couple pieces of plywood that we had fit into those slots, and then we epoxied and fiberglassed those together and went ahead and bonded them back into the overhead area. At the same time, we sealed the edges of the old plywood that was left up in there. Next, we fiberglassed all the new pieces of filler plywood into place. Let me tell you, that was a mess. We had a lot of fun with that one. Next, it was time to paint everything white and make it all nice and pretty, which we did. At that point, we ran into a little bit of a problem. You see, we ran out of teak plywood. So it was time to head out to Harbor Teak out in Tacoma and pick up another sheet of teak plywood. And Justin was kind enough to give us a hand cutting that plywood so it would fit into the back of our car so we could take it to the boat and continue to move forward working on this project. Back at the boat, we used the fitted door skin panel, and we used that as a template and used a router to cut out our new teak panel to match that door skin. So that worked out pretty good. Made a little bit of mess, but we did it outside, so it wasn't so bad. After that, we had two pieces now, and we'll put the teak panel aside and use the door skin to do final fitting and final trimming so we don't damage the teak panel. One of the things we like to do to protect the teak panels after we've cut them to size, we like to put some nice heavy coat of varnish on there, and that protects them from delaminating and anything cutting through that veneer. Then it was time to put the door skin up there, do a check fit, and see how well we hid the speaker wires. As you know from before, those speaker wires were just out in the open in a really hideous way. So we hid those behind the scenes, and it looks like it's going to be a good fit.
Perfect!
Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream. Okay, maybe that was a little over the top. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get our next video started. In case you missed it in last week's video, we finally cleaned up our act. We cleaned up the nav station anyways. It was a pretty bad mess. There was a lot of stuff all over the place from the previous projects we were working on forward over the settee area. Anyways, we managed to get that area cleaned up, and look at this. Boy, it turned out really nice. It turned out really good. So we're pretty happy with that. And then that allowed us to go ahead and move on with our next step of the project, and that's to remove that blown out section of that little overhead panel that's in the nav station area. Doesn't look like much, but we know that there's some water damage behind there, and sure enough, take a look at that. Oh no, more of that again. So that's what we have to look forward to right there. Lots of snacks and treats hanging out in there, and more of the same as what we were doing previously in the settee area. So we cut that rotted plywood out, not all of it, but just enough of it to get back to the good stuff, and we're going to use some of that to make templates out of, and that'll help us when we're setting in the new pieces of placement plywood. All in all, it wasn't too badly damaged, but it was definitely rotted all the way through in sections, so we cut that out, and some of the epoxy that we had done on previous repairs had spilled over into that section, and it was holding us up, and it ate through a few of our blades on the multi-tool. All in all, we got some good templates, and that's what we needed in order to make new pieces of filler plywood. So it's all good. If you missed that episode, go back, take a look at it, and check it out.
Welcome back! Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Hi guys!
Hi guys.
Welcome back. I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich. Together we make DIY Nautical Dream.
What's going on, honey?
Oh, you know, living the dream.
Are we?
Yeah. Man, we're working on it this time. We're in deep again, guys.
Always.
Yeah, and so this little nav station area is a little bit bigger project than we were anticipating, but we're getting there. And, you know, we've learned a lot, right, since we've been working on the other areas here and there and the galley area and all that. So we retain a little bit of that knowledge, and we take it on when we go on to these next projects. We take it with us. So anyways, there's a lot of little steps involved in this one. Doesn't seem like a big job, but it's bigger than it looks.
We're building back to rotted plywood.
Oh yeah, we have lots more epoxy and fiberglass up ahead of us. You know, we need to build back the rotted plywood, so we're gonna have to do that.
And then we need to rewire.
Oh man, you know
the
those
speakers, right?
Yeah, those wonderful Bose speaker wires that they stapled on the outside there. We're gonna do something different with that. Just to let you know, we got to make that better. If nothing else, we got to improve on that, right?
And then we did a little bit of visit with Justin at Harbor Teak.
So we picked up another sheet of teak plywood from Justin at Harbor Teak, and it wouldn't fit in the car, so we had to cut it out in the parking lot. And
he helped.
Yeah, Justin gave us a hand. So thanks a lot, Justin. We really appreciate that. You guys are getting a chance to see how beautiful that teak plywood looks once we finished it and installed it in the boat. So that's what we're using. It's from Harbor Teak. And if you're looking in your local and looking in the area, that's where we're getting it from. So stop by and say hi to Justin there.
We're hoping to rough cut the teak.
That's a big ask right there. If we get that far and we're able to actually cut out the teak plywood that's going to fit up in that area, I think we made it pretty far. We do have a door skin sample that we fitted, and we'll transfer that to the teak plywood. So that's what we're hoping to get by the end of this episode.
Yep, so quit talking, honey. Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna show you how we did this project.
Right?
Update.
That's what we're up to. That's why we are here.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Stay tuned.
See ya. Okay, so here's where we're at. I have just a small piece of wood in there, a little filler footprint tucked inside under this lip here, and we'll eventually epoxy that in place with thickened epoxy, and it'll fill in any of the voids and the gaps that are on the back side. I have it tacked in with a screw here and a screw there, and so when I pull this out and slop a bunch of thickened epoxy on there, I'll slide it back into place, screw it in there, and it'll bond in during the curing process, and it'll become a permanent part of this area of the boat. Our goal is to eventually be able to build off of that little footprint there and eventually get this into place. Then we'll build the piece that goes to the other half of that on the other side, and eventually we'll have a piece matching somewhat like that in place here. And keep in mind, this is only secondary structure. It has no structural value of the boat. It's merely something to provide a little layer of insulation and a little attach point for the light fixtures and the under panel that's going to go in place here and stuff like that, and we'll bond it into here. That's it. We're not trying to make this perfect. We're not trying to make it showroom condition or anything like that, but we're just trying to build off of that. So it'll look a little ugly. It's not going to look as clean as like this over here does, but it'll serve the same purpose when it's all done. We'll show you what it looks like as we keep going, but it'll hopefully make a little more sense when we get farther into it. All right? Okay, so this is what we came up with, and these are two separate pieces. We're going to bond them together, and we're going to put a light fiberglass cloth kind of joining the two seams together, and lots of epoxy in the middle in the joint there, and we'll do that on both sides. I know this looks ugly, but it works. It gets us to where we want to be without trying to fit all these pieces together all at one time. So I know it looks like garbage, but it actually works. So we're just going to go with it. I could take this and use it as a template and make one piece, but it's going to be ugly no matter what we do, so we're just going to go with it. All right, we'll show you how it looks when we get ready to install it. All right, so here's our little piece of filler wood there, and it's all fiberglass tabbed together. Then we coated it with epoxy. It's going to go up here. So our next step we're going to do is we're going to coat these edges of bare plywood right up in here. We're going to coat those edges with just regular epoxy. We're going to put it on very heavy. Later, once we put our piece of wood up in there, we will put some thickened epoxy in between on those joints. So we're just really looking to just prevent any more moisture from getting in there. And that's it. And so you can see our little diaper setup we got there. And that's going to slow down any of the drips from coming down here, and hopefully not on to any of the radio gear there. So that's what we got coming up next. We're not going to film any of that, obviously. I'll need both hands for what I'm doing. Alright, so we went ahead and fiberglass tabbed this piece of plywood into place, and it's not pretty. So based on our experience from the past, we know it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be functional. And all we're really trying to do is connect this edge with that edge, this edge with that one, and the forward edge is up underneath the lip of the old fiberglass, and we tabbed it into place. Once it cures, we'll sand it, and we'll add on the next section that goes on the back over here, paint it, and get ready to start putting the plywood. We'll fit. So while we're waiting for the epoxy and fiberglass to cure on this filler plywood that we put up in here, we can reflect back and say, you know, we could have done this a little bit better. Probably could have made this out of one piece of plywood, made it a little bit nicer, a little bit neater. Fortunately for us, nobody's going to see this once we install the headliner panel up in there. But yeah, we didn't make it a thing of beauty this time, that's for sure. Generally, we try to do our best on everything we can. I kind of got lazy on this one. I just did not want to relocate those holes again, so that was my apprehension for wanting to cut a new piece. All right, so let's see how this turned out. It's not pretty, but looks like it's functional. All right, so it's in there, and we sealed up these edges here, right here. We had a little bit of tape stuck on there from the epoxy, but otherwise, this is in, no longer rotted like we had before, and it's tabbed into the old stuff, and we sealed up the edges on that also, so that's good. And this is pretty much tabbed in to the edge of the new stuff we have that we added over here previously. So that's looking good, and we'll just keep on doing the same. We're going to add another piece back here, but all in all, we're just trying to get that secondary structure back in there so that we have something to mount our overhead panel that's going to go in here, and our light assembly. It'll have some solid structure to mount to, so it's really just, that's all it's going to be in there for. So I think they could have probably came up with something different, but we're going to just put back what was in there and treat it so it won't ever rot. Everything's going to be epoxy coated, and we'll eventually epoxy coat this as well with penetrating epoxy. It should not rot either any further than what it was starting to. So anyways, that's where we're at on that, and we'll add this piece and continue on, and we'll start fitting the panel template that's going to go in here. We'll start out with some door skin, just because this is a little bit of an odd shape in here, and we want to get a good fit, and we don't want to waste the teak plywood. So we're noticing the teak plywood prices have gone up significantly since the last time we bought some. Alright, so this is what we have now. We have all the pieces fiberglassed into place, tabbed all together. Looks pretty rough. It's really not going to get much better looking than that, other than the fact we're going to paint it with white paint. And then we still have one strip of plywood we need to add back there, just as an anchor point for our panel once we put it into place. I see this bolt here is a little long, and that's been there probably since production. We may grind that off. I have not decided. I don't know if it's going to be in the way of our panel going into place, but if it is, we may cut that off just to try to cut it flush with this. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get ready to paint this now, and then see how it turns out.
Oh, so what are you doing, honey?
Oh, just kind of putting some paint on this. Just trying to seal it up, and you know, everywhere we work on the boat, under panels and behind panels and things like that, we like to paint it white, just so that we know we've been there, and just a little extra added layer of protection, I guess. It doesn't really add anything structural or anything like that, but we know we're sealing it up really well, and if we ever have to get back in here again at a later date, we know that we've been here and we've done whatever we did back here, and so we'll know whether it turned out well or it didn't, and we were redoing it. So yeah, just making a mess, you know, that kind of thing.
Are you having fun?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
And try to remember that moving and making action with your mouth and tongue doesn't help.
Oh yeah, no, but it feels like it at the time when I'm doing it. So, but yeah, we're getting there. So we'll wrap this up here pretty soon, and be one less thing we have to do back in this area. And yeah, it's all right. It's turning out okay.
Okay, so we'll get back with you later then.
Yeah, that too. All right, so here it is. Finished paint. This step is done. The next step will be to fit our panel that's going to go on here, possibly trim off that stud, locate a piece of plywood that's going to go across the back. You can see where the screws are pointing out right there and right there. There's going to be a piece of plywood that attaches back there as well, and all those pieces of plywood are for is to attach our trim panel, which we have not made yet. We have a template made, but we don't have the final one made yet because we have ran out of teak plywood. So we'll need to source another sheet of teak plywood here soon. Once that panel is on there and this is all done, it will be a thing of beauty. We'll close this back up here and be able to put the trim back on, and we'll move on to the next step.
Wow, really?
And that's where baby's at right there.
Really?
Hi, baby.
Hi, honey. What's up?
Oh, you know, DIY nautical dream.
That's good, right?
Yep. All right, so we're here at Harbor Teak, and we picked up another sheet of plywood for the project. This is gonna go, we're gonna cut a piece out so we can put it in the car, take it to the boat, and then eventually this will be the part that goes over the top of the chart table that we're trying to make. And so we got a little help here today.
Hi, I'm Justin with Harbor Teak. How you doing?
All right, so Justin's gonna give us a hand, and we're gonna cut this and then we'll put it in the car. And Harbor Teak is where we always come to pick up our teak plywood. He helps us out, gives us a good deal on the price, and you can't beat his prices nowhere around here anyway. So
Thanks.
we're gonna go ahead and cut this. All right, and that is that. So appreciate the help. And then we'll sand it up a little bit, smooth out the edges. That works out good. All right, Justin.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right,
And
yeah.
We will be back.
Yeah,
We'll do a
be back
segment.
in touch. Like I said, we'll do that. We'll do that table.
Yeah, we'll come back and do a segment and show around the store and everything like that. So
Great. All
really
right.
appreciate it. Have a good one. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe.
I'll
Comment down below. All right, thank you. If you're in the area and you're interested in stopping by Justin's store at Harbor Teak in Tacoma, Washington, here's his contact info and store location. All right, so this is the same teak plywood we just picked up earlier today from Harbor Teak. I saved you guys the excitement of me cutting the piece out of the larger piece, so we're going to go ahead and router this down to the size that we want it to. So on the bottom side I had the template that we made, our little made out of door skin, and then I'm just going to router it down to the size we need it to be now. So all the edges are good. Okay, so that's that. So now I'm just going to sand it real quick. And the nice thing is we now have 2 pieces, but we only need 1. This is the side we want right here. This is our good side. Look at that. Nice beautiful piece of teak right here. We'll get some varnish on it and it'll look pretty nice. And then we'll seal the backside so moisture doesn't get in here. Be all good to go.
Alright, so what are you doing, honey?
Well, now we're putting the first coat of varnish on there. And this is one of my favorite things to do. I really like doing this. I get a lot of satisfaction out of putting the first coat of varnish on there. I mean, I just love the way it changes the color of the wood and brings out the beautiful color in the teak. We're just really doing this more to protect it than anything else because we still have a little bit of final fitting we have to do. The layer of teak veneer that's on this plywood is so thin that we don't want to damage it while we're putting it in and out, trying to fit it, you know.
What kind of put it in?
Oh, you know.
Oh, wow.
The kind where we put it in and fit it to find out if it fits or not. That kind of put it in. What kind of put in did you think I was talking about?
Oh, you know, trying to measure if it fits good.
Right.
Same thing.
Okay. But yeah, this is going to turn out really nice. This is one of the nicer sheets of teak plywood we've picked up from Harbor Teak, so I'm really happy with this one. We will definitely be going back to get some more here soon. We have lots more teak plywood projects to go. I like to put it on kind of thick on the first coat just because the wood really soaks it up, and so that's what we want. We want it to get in there and seal the teak veneer so it's not so fragile.
I like it too. Now look at that color.
Looks really nice, huh? This piece of teak plywood is going to go a little overhead area right over the navigation desk area, so it'll look really nice. And then we'll put one of our personal custom-made LED light housings that we make. We'll put one of those right in the center. It'll look really nice.
Are you gonna let it dry before you put second coat?
Oh yeah, we're gonna let that dry.
Look at that. That's my job.
Alright, so that's what we got going on there. We're gonna go ahead and let that dry up, and then we'll put another coat on it probably, and we'll do some fitment work later.
Put it in.
Yep. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I almost forgot to do, I wanted to reroute the surround sound wires so that they're going to come out a little more concealed than what they were before, because before they were just straight out in the open. They were coming out this hole, and then they're going to route on the outside and go all the way down there. So now what I have is I have them routed from behind, and they're going to be up underneath the panel. So that's a good thing. It just kind of gives it that little bit better professional look to it. So this is still in the fit up stages, but we are very close to having a permanent panel back in here. And yeah, so everything's kind of coming along good. We're making a little bit of progress. Pretty soon this will be all closed back up and something like that, except we will have the teak panel on there. But you won't see the wires. They won't come out until later. Same thing there, you won't see the wires. So it's going to look really good. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're still debating on which kind of light fixture we're going to put in here. It's either going to be this style right here, or we will do this style right here. So we're kind of leaning towards this style right here. It's going to go up under here. So that's what we're heading for. We'll see how it looks once we get it kind of dry fitted in place. But anyways, we're getting there. Once this is installed, the panel will go back on here. We'll put the new port light back in here and put the frames on and the trim and close up the vinyl. And then we will start working on this overhead hatch situation here. Lots of things to do.
All right, so what do you think, Kenny?
I think we made a mess, and anytime,
Always.
anytime we make a mess, you know, good things are coming out of that. So
Yep. It's either what?
it's a mess. No, hey, so we made some pretty good progress, I think. So we wanted to get those speaker wires rerouted. We found a pathway for those that I think will keep them concealed. So we're happy with that. That was kind of a little tricky to figure that out. Took a little bit of thinking with the old noggin here, but we're coming around on that. And then let's see what else. So we also have a pretty good fit with the door skin that we use. So we transfer that onto the new teak plywood, and we were able to get that rough cut and somewhat fit. And we went ahead and even put our first coat of varnish on it. So it just kind of protects it a little bit from damage and all of us moving it around and everything like that. So we still have a long ways to go to get that fitted, but it is looking good. We got the pieces of filler plywood installed and bonded and epoxied and fiberglass into place. You know, it looks pretty ugly. I think we could have done something different with that, but we're going to keep going and we're going to stay with it. It's barely secondary structure, so we're not worried about it. We'll just keep moving on.
Nobody will see it.
Nobody's going to see it. All it is for the panel to attach to and the wires, things like that. So we're good with it.
Only you know.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be another one of those wonderful things of beauty installs once we're all done. We still have a lot to do, but
slowly
it's looking
progress.
good. Yeah. It's going to be better than it was. So this is one of those projects that just has a lot of little steps involved, just like the other area we were working in. So we're just going to keep sticking with it little by little, week by week. You'll see the changes as well as we do throughout this project.
All right, so thanks for watching, guys. And please watch our video from the very beginning until the end.
Right.
We really appreciate it.
It helps us out with our watch hours. So
yep, so we're still hoping to be monetized.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. One of these days it'll happen. We'll let you guys know.
One day.
But it's not today.
Yep. All right, so stay tuned, guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Right here. Ding, 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 ding. Right?
Yep.
See ya. Have a great day.
You have a good day.
Dang, if I would have hit record.
You did.
Oh, okay, good.
It's DJI action.
Yeah, we're here on the DJI. Better hit. Yeah, we got record going this time.
Okay.
Dang, if I only hit record. Man.
I think you did.
Okay.
Tell us what's going on.
Take 2,000.
Yep.
Take 2. And action.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome
back.
I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together we make... What? just like we are like just
All right, straighten her out here. All right, again. Take
10.
2, 900. Maybe you can help me.
I did last night.
All right. All right, guys, we'll show you how things come along, and we'll show you this update for this week's video.
That doesn't write also.
No.
Okay. So no more. Did we record it?
Yep.
Dang, I don't have my microphone.
Oh, man. You almost had me on that one. Dang, that would have been bad.
Welcome back. Oops. JK. Okay, that's it.
Nope.
Anyways, bye. Oh, is it recording? Maybe not. Did we record it?
Hang on, not yet.